Hey YouTube, I just wanted to let you know that the following video you are about to watch is actually a part of the Creatrix live series happening over on Instagram. We started this 5-week-long live series in celebration of the next cohort of my signature group coaching program known as Embodied Creatrix. This program is 12 weeks long. It is for women visionaries who are ready to live a soul-aligned life that turns them on so that they can make the impact they know they're here to create. So it starts with getting clear on our values and vision, doing the mindset work to own our desires, doing the mindset work to show up for our dreams, right? We do all of this through, again, deep mindset, pleasure, clarity, strategy, and execution. So this is deep work that happens over a 3-month-long period in community, in a container with other driven visionary women. And so in celebration of this next iteration of my program starting August 30th, I wanted to give people sort of a sneak peek of the kind of work that we do in the full program, give everyone a feel for the kind of content that we unpack therein. And so that's why we're doing this 5-week-long live series. So we're dropping juicy, delicious, actionable content. So whether you're interested in the full program or not, you will get served. You will find tools and information to support you in owning your desires and showing up for your dreams and executing on your vision. And there's going to be plenty of opportunities for winning Creatrix related prizes and giveaways. So if you want to participate live, I highly recommend you come find us on Instagram. All the relevant links to learn about the program, to find me on Instagram and participate live is down below, and I can't wait to see you there. The topic of today's live is the problem with visualization and how to avoid this attachment mistake. Again, so we talked about this on yesterday's live. The whole foundation to the Embodied Creatrix program is pursue your dreams and desires in the way you want to experience them, right? And we talked about this yesterday. The reason for doing that is because we don't want to pursue our desires and dreams from that lack space, from that hustle space, from that untilness or that enoughness space, right? And so what happens when we're manifesting or we're trying to create something or we're trying to actualize a dream, it's just the way our brain works. It's just the way we're wired, I think. We create attachments, right? Everyone who's listen to any kind of manifesting or creating lingo knows what I'm talking about when I say attachment. And within the manifesting, domain or paradigm, we're always talking about releasing attachment to outcome. Okay? And so when we're pursuing our desires and dreams from that hustle space or from that lack space, we're actually creating distance between us and the desired goal or outcome, right? We're creating an attachment that says, this is the desired outcome is the only way that I can feel the way I want to feel, or gain X, Y, Z, right? When we're manifesting or creating from that lack space. And so we want to, in as many ways as possible, create those feelings of, what people call like abundance, those feelings of abundance, those feelings of what I call pleasure, just straight pleasure and joy. We want to do everything in our power to feel good, to feel full, to feel XYZ, whatever it is for you, while we're creating, while we're manifesting, because that's what's actually going to keep us in that vibrational alignment. And just like practically speaking, you guys, when we feel good, we're more motivated, we're more efficient, we're more practical and pragmatic, like we're more turned on. And what tends to happen when we're manifesting and creating is we start to feel bad, right? When things aren't happening either in the exact way we thought they would or in the time frame that we thought they would, right? And so this is why the whole foundation of the program is pursuing our dreams and desires in the way that we want to experience them, okay? So we kind of broke all that down yesterday. And today I want to talk to you about the thing you didn't know that was happening. It's something I didn't know that was happening when it comes to the visualization technique. So Most of us have heard of visualization. I mean, like, raise your hand if you've made a vision board. Raise your hand if you've ever gone into meditation to visualize your desire. This is like a technique that's taught in all of the sort of manifesting, creating spaces, is going into that meditative state, visualizing the desire or outcome as if it's already yours, and feeling it as if it's already yours, and having that little internal experience of the desire or outcome already being had, right? Now, I think visualization's a really great tool. It's a really great piece to the puzzle, but in my experience, hyper focusing on this visualizing is actually causing harm to our manifesting and creation processes. And so let's break down why, right? When we are going into that visualization space, we are actually moving from, we're entering into that conceptual realm, right? Sort of what we might call the energetic space, right? That kind of spiritual, non-tangible, etheric space, right? And so when we are visualizing, we're in that conceptual, mental sort of plane, that non-tangible plane, and so we're actually manifesting and creating from a disembodied space, okay? We're manifesting from that conceptual plane. Again, great tool, but when we're putting all of our eggs in that basket, I find that it actually counteracts our manifestation properties. Why? I'll tell you why. Because when we're only experiencing our desired outcome and the associated feeling states from that disembodied conceptual place, we're reinforcing the attachment to the outcome, that the thing, the outcome, whatever it is we're trying to manifest or whatever goal it is we're trying to get to and achieve, by only experiencing those feels from that disembodied conceptual space, we're just reinforcing the attachment that that's the only way we're going to feel the thing, that we're going to get to where it is we want to be, that we're going to actualize, you know, the feels that we want to have, that we're going to finally feel XYZ, whatever it is for you, right? Do you see what I mean? So when that's our only mode or our only like path or route for feeling good or for feeling the way we want to feel is through the visualization process, again, we're just reinforcing the attachment that that thing that we're focusing and visualizing on is the only thing that's going to help us finally feel the way we want to feel. You see what I mean? This is huge, and this is like, I don't think this is something anybody's talking about. So again, it's not that visualization's bad. It's just that when we're putting all of our focus there to the disembodied space, we're not giving ourselves room for experiential learning and experiential understanding of ourselves from an embodied space, right? Because it's all conceptual. It's all based on theory. It's all based on what if. It's all based on possible timelines. It's not necessarily present. You know what I mean? So how do we, how do we avoid this? How do we work around this? How do we create pathways for feeling good outside of just that visualization space so that we can stop reinforcing this attachment issue and actually release the attachment, feel good while we're manifesting, okay? I'm going to break it down into 3 steps for you. Okay. Because seriously, that's another thing we hear in the manifesting and like creation spaces is obviously they talk about releasing attachment to outcome, but they're just like, let it go. Release it to the universe, you know, and it's like, okay, that's easier said than done. And like, how do I actually do that, right? Like, how does that actually happen? And this is why this topic is so big, and I'm really excited that we're talking about this today, because I'm going to give you actual practical steps that are going to help you literally release the attachment instead of just, you know, fugazi, release it to the universe, right? Because again, when we're moving in that visualization space, and that's the only space we're going to feel the way we want to feel, we're just reinforcing the attachment to that outcome. So the practical steps, like the things that no one's telling you of actually how to release attachment to your desired outcome. Are you ready? It's all about pursuing your desires and dreams in the way you want to experience them. Duh. The whole basis of the program, right? But real quickly, I want to say that yesterday's journal prompts, so everything we broke down in yesterday's live, everything we're talking about today is building on that. And so the journal prompts, the action steps that I gave you at the end of yesterday's live directly correlate to the action steps that we're talking about today. So if you, you want to go do those journal prompts to set you up for the action steps we're going to break down today, all right? Excuse me. Okay, so firstly, and this is something we go in depth into in the Embodied Creatrix program. Today I'm just gonna kind of give you an overview. You need to pinpoint the values and the needs, really like the underlying energetic essences of your desires or dreams or vision. You have to go underneath the surface, like outcome, right, of what it is you're visualizing. Whatever the goal is for you, a house, a new house, a relationship, your dream career, right? Whatever the thing is, you got to go underneath it and you got to pinpoint the values and the needs, the sort of energetic essence that are underneath the pictured, the outpictured outcome, right? Because in reality, there is an infinite number of ways that you could like live your soul's purpose. There's an infinite number of ways that you could create a life you love. There is not ever one path. Like, I do not believe in fate in that way or destiny in that way. I believe you are an active creator in this process of determining how it is you live out your purpose. And so there isn't, so when we pinpoint the values and needs underneath the outpictured dream that we're trying to manifest, it allows us more creative freedom. It allows us like to get it connected to the energy so that we can manipulate and kind of move and flow with our actualization and our manifesting and our creating processes, because we're more connected to the infinite potential and possibility of how a thing can happen, right? Because raise your hand, how many of us have manifested or created something or achieved a goal, and even though we achieved it or it actualized or it happened, the whole journey and even the way it looked in the end was not how you thought it would be. It wasn't the way you like visualized it, right? The timing was off. Like, certain aspects of the whole experience were totally different and unexpected. But in the end, it was something that, like, it all happened the way you didn't know you needed it to happen. You know what I mean? So pinpointing the underlying values and needs of the desire or dream is crucial. And again, we go in depth in doing that in the full program. So, like, for example, just to like kind of give you context here or give you an example. I like my current focus when it comes to creating a life I love. My current focus is growing and building my business, right? And so when it came to like the business was the thing, that was the desired outcome, right? That was the dream I was actualizing. And so when I went down underneath that surface thing, the business, to kind of pinpoint the values and needs underneath it, I was actually kind of surprised. But the values, like the reason I wanted to build my own business, the reason I wanted to be in business for myself was like freedom and self-determination, right? I wanted to, and purpose, I suppose. Like, I wanted to feel like my business, my career, like the job, like where I was pouring my heart and soul and energy into was, I wanted to feel freedom there. And I wanted to feel like it aligned with my skill set and, my passions, right? So, and I also wanted that self-determination. I wanted to do something that really, aligned with my passion, that was for me. I didn't want to serve someone else's vision necessarily, right? And then the needs, like the sort of human needs that I was trying to fulfill with the business, were success and impact. I wanted to feel successful, and I wanted to feel like I was impactful. I wanted to feel like I was making a meaningful impact in people's lives, that I was serving people. And so, again, values were freedom, self-determination, purpose, and the human needs were success and impactfulness, right? So for all of you out there, what are you currently manifesting? What are you currently creating? What is the dream or the goal that you are working towards right now? What is the thing, right? For me, it was the business. Now, get in there, take yourself into some self-reflection time, do some meditation, do some journaling, whatever it is for you. Talk to a friend, book a call with me, and break down what are the values sort of driving you, and what are the human needs you're looking to fulfill, because we all have needs for belonging, for safety, for impact, for all of these kinds of things, right? So what are those things you're trying to fulfill? So pinpoint those firstly. And then step number 2 is identifying other areas of your life, other activities where you have those needs met, or where you're personifying those values, and where you're feeling all the associated feeling states to those things, right? So identify other areas of your life where you felt those things, or other areas of your experience, other activities that have allowed you to connect to those values and those needs and those feeling states, okay? Because actually connecting to those is going to give you, again, not that conceptual visualization connection to the feeling state, but a more visceral, embodied, experiential experience of those feelings in action, right? So the whole premise here of this conversation is to get you from that mind-dominant conceptual model back into your body and back into your human agency, right? Where you can live from that experiential space, not just the conceptual, idealized space. So one, pinpoint the values and needs underneath your dream or desire or your goal, the thing you're currently manifesting, creating, actualizing. Identify other areas or activities in life where you have felt those values and needs met, or you felt yourself really embody and personify them. And then the third step is just execute on that. Go create more time for you to have those activities and experiences so that you can feel those things in action from that embodied space, from that experiential space, right? So that it isn't it isn't originating from that conceptual visualized space. Do you understand? So go have fun. Go feel good just to feel good. Whatever those needs and values that you've identified are, like, again, for me, it was freedom, self-determination, purpose, and then success and impactfulness. I actually there are other areas of my life totally not connected to my business. I spent time feeling successful and feeling impactful in my body, in my agency, from that experiential place, okay? Now, again, the reason we want to do this is because when we're spending all of our manifesting and creation time from that conceptual mental plane alone, so we're going into our meditation or our visualization and we're picturing the outcome, the desired outcome, and the feelings attached, we're just reinforcing that feedback loop that thing is the only way we're going to get to XYZ, and that's just reinforcing that attachment. And of course, as we discussed, in manifesting and creating, we want to release attachment. And so this is the practical, pragmatic way that you actually work towards releasing attachment to the desired outcome. This is huge, right? Because people will tell you, just release it to the universe. And you're like, okay, but how? This is how. You find other areas in your life, even if they're completely even if they feel completely disconnected to whatever it is you're trying to create or manifest, you find other areas of your life to go feel those things experientially from the embodied space. And that way you're building evidence in your brain, right? Because our brain is just really good at what it does, and the entire process of creating a life you love involves this mindset work of rewiring your brain and repatterning the way your brain operates. And so by doing this, we're actually banking evidence that thing we're trying to create or manifest, or that goal we're trying to achieve, isn't the only way that we can feel XYZ. It isn't the only way that we can experience XYZ, right? So we're actually, this is why I said it's practical and pragmatic, but it's actually doing the work we need, is we're banking the evidence, and therefore we're not reinforcing that attachment that happens if we're only spending time in the visualization space. You understand? We're banking alternative evidence that is going to support a more balanced approach, because again, visualization isn't a bad thing, but when we're putting all of our time and focus there in that etheric, conceptual space, we're not giving ourselves appropriate time in the embodied experiential space to be in our agency, to be in our body, to be feeling it while we're in action, while we're engaging with the world, while we're engaging our agency, right? So again, part of the whole Embodied Creatrix program is coming from that whole self perspective, right? So we do a lot of mindset work, but we're also spending time in our bodies, in our physical agency, executing and taking action, right? Because we're multidimensional beings, we're dynamic beings, we're mind, body, spirit, we're souls embodied, right? So there totally is that etheric, that energetic sort of aspect to ourselves, but we're really meant to be here in our body, in our agency, making moves, right? And so when we're only manifesting and creating from that disembodied space, we're not completing the whole picture. It's an imbalanced approach, right? We need to be in our bodies, in our agency, executing, like experientially understanding ourselves, right? Versus conceptually understanding ourselves. And so that's what these 3 steps will do. And this is how you release attachment. If you've ever wondered, like, okay, but how? Like, how do I release attachment to outcome? This is how. This is the practical, real life, pragmatic way that you do this. And here's the thing, you just feel better manifesting, right? Because everyone knows what it feels like when we are in that attachment space and we're like hustling, and it's like we know we're not supposed to be in lack, and we know we're not supposed to be like feeling like our desire is so far away. We're actually supposed to be feeling it like it's already happened, but that's so fucking hard, you know what I mean? And that just creates that divide, and it just reinforces that attachment, which creates that divide, right? So actually feeling good to feel good, just for the sake of feeling good. Creating experiences and activities and moments where you can feel the way it is you want to feel, the associated feelings to your desire, right? In other areas of life is just adding to your sort of vibrational quotient, if you will, right? That's when people talk about like the law of attraction. When people talk about the law of attraction and becoming a manifesting magnet, like this is like the practical side of that, right? If you've ever been like, okay, I get it, when they're talking about being a magnet on, or they're talking about the law of attraction, like I get it on a sort of etheric level, but what does that look like in real life? This is what it looks like. Go find other areas and activities to feel good for the sake of feeling good, to feel and create experiences associated with whatever feelings, values, and needs are attached to or are associated with your desired outcome. Go feel those as often as possible. In any other way or capacity, it could be totally disconnected from your actual the actual goal you have that you're trying to actualize or manifest. You want to just expand your capacity for joy and pleasure and fulfillment, because when you're doing that, when you're feeling good, again, just from a totally practical standpoint, when we're feeling good, we're more motivated, we're more efficient, we're more like turned on, we're more aware, right? So from a practical, like human standpoint, that's going to benefit you. But from an energetic standpoint, from a soul perspective, when you're feeling good, when you're creating space to feel those things in other areas of life as much as possible, not just in attachment to your outcome, you are vibrationally aligned. You are in alignment. You are carving paths for the outcome to land, right? That's alignment. That's collapsing timelines to the goal itself. And it sounds so counterintuitive because, like we talked about yesterday, most of us get into that manifesting, creating mode of enoughness and untilness. Well, I'm not worthy of feeling good, or I'm not worthy of feeling successful or impactful. I'm not worthy of feeling XYZ, whatever it is for you, until I achieve the thing. And it's like, it's such a mindfuck because it's the exact opposite. Go feel the thing and in as many other areas as you can, because that's, again, that's the alignment, that's the vibrational magnetism, that's collapsing timelines, and that's literally releasing attachment, because you're gaining actual evidence, you're banking evidence in your brain that there is an infinite number of possibilities for you to experience that thing, and therefore stop the attachment, the reinforcement to the attachment, that thing is the only way that you're going to feel the way you want to feel, and live the life you want to create, live, and love, right? Again, because our goals, our dreams, our desires, those outcomes, those outpictured things, they are, again, there's an infinite level, an infinite number of ways that you can live your purpose, and right? And so our dreams, our desires, our goals, our vision, they are more like our compass. They're like our North Star that sort of guides us, okay? And so when we're using those things as a guide, not the thing that's finally going to bring us success or happiness or peace or whatever it is, we're using them as a compass, as a guide, so that, and that's what it, using them as a compass and a guide versus the thing that's going to finally heal you or make you feel the way you want to feel, right? Starts with pinpointing the values and needs underneath them, right? As we talked about in step 1. That way, we're really connecting to our goal, to our desire, to our dream, to the outpictured outcome. We're connecting to it from that infinite space of potential and possibility, and going, okay, so this is the outpictured outcome, but really it's connected to all of these different experiential things, these energies and these values that I'm here to embody and personify, and these human needs that I'm here to fulfill and experience and share with others. And so if I can connect to it from that space and go experience that in every other way possible, again, I'm releasing attachment to the outcome. I'm bringing myself back into my body, back into my agency, back into experiential wisdom of myself, not just conceptual wisdom of myself. And I'm actually moving the needle on my goals. I'm creating that alignment and collapsing timelines, becoming that energetic magnet. That's it. Mic drop. That's all I have to say. Okay, so yeah, guys, that's what I have for you today. This is huge. Again, I don't think anybody's talking about this, the issue with attachment, when we're only visualizing. Again, visualizing is not a bad thing, but we don't want to spend all of our time and energy there. We want to be manifesting and creating from that embodied space. And then again, like I said, this is when people talk about becoming a magnetic, like a super attractor, or people talk about the law of attraction and manifestation, and you're like, I get it. I get that I'm supposed to release attachment, and I get that I'm supposed to vibrationally align, but like, what does that look like in practical terms? This is it, okay? So please, if there's anybody in your life, in your circles that you feel like this would benefit, that would, that would benefit from this information, please share this live, or please share the replay. And of course, go back to the beginning and watch if you want information on the giveaway options, because of course, if you share to your IG stories 3 times, you can get the $100 off coupon code to the full Embodied Creatrix program. And if you share 6 times, if you share 6 of these replays to Facebook exclusively, you can be entered to win the Embodied Creatrix freebie spot. We might be raffling away 2 spots. So go watch the beginning if you need the sharing options, or the giveaway rules, excuse me. And then share this with your people, anyone who needs to know this stuff, because like I said, I don't think anybody's talking about this, and this is my jam. Like, this is my passion, is kind of breaking down the soulful energetics into those practical bite-sized pieces, because self and soul integration is what I'm all about, right? We are souls embodied. So we are absolutely that energetic, etheric, soulful self, but we're also that human being, and that embodied being living a very visceral experience in this world. And so really finding ways to bring more synergy, right? That's what the Embodied Creatrix program is all about, is honoring all the work that needs to be done around mindset, but also honoring the practical side of our experience and how can we create easier ways to manifest and to execute and to actualize and to stay committed to our vision, right? It's the synergy of all these things. We have to have that soulful perspective, but we also have to have the integration of that very human, practical, embodied perspective, right? So go share this with your peeps. And I will see you next Tuesday for the third installment of this Creatrix live series. And thank you guys for joining me. Mwah.